Joe Rogan is the #1 podcast in the world. On his podcast, he talks about many topics and interview a lot of people. But one specific topic really caught my attention, and that's sous vide. So today I'm here to share that with you. Let's begin.
Is the reverse sear method. This is what I learned it from. I learned it from him. A lot of times people will cook it, they sear it on the outside, and then they try to finish it off. And you can do that way, but it's not as good. It's better to bring it up to temperature slowly inside like a pellet grill. Another good method is sous vide. Do you ever sous vide things?
I haven't yet. I've had it from restaurants before, though. Like, I was talking to someone. They said a lot of restaurants now do that just so they can kind of make all their stuff more uniform. So you go and you get exactly what you did the last time.
Yeah, they don't. No one up because if you go, you can go to a restaurant, order medium rare, and it comes out well done.
Right,
you get mad.
Exactly, Joe. So if you are unfamiliar with sous vide, let me explain. Sous vide means to cook under vacuum. But the best part is that you cannot mess it up. That is, if you do it right. Usually it's cooked in a water bath where you set the exact doneness you want for your steak. If you like medium rare like me, you set it to 135 degrees Fahrenheit, leave it there, set it and forget it. It will be perfect every single time.
Have a steak and you want that steak to be 135 degrees. You basically put the setting at 135 degrees and you can put it in there for 4 hours. So when you get it, it's just all the tendons and ligaments and all that stuff is just broken down. All the fascia is broken down, and it's just so tender.
You're absolutely right. It is so tender. So to be clear, it usually takes 1 to 2 hours to cook a sous vide steak. It all depends on the thickness. As a rule of thumb, you can use 1 inch per hour. 1 hour at 135 degrees Fahrenheit, your steak will be perfectly cooked. Perfectly. However, if you leave it there for 4 hours, your steak will still be perfectly cooked. But the texture of the steak will start changing. It will go from a steak to a roast.
But it feels weird because you're boiling it in a plastic bag. It seems so wrong. It's like you're not. I mean, I know it's a different kind of plastic, but you're not even supposed to drink water if if your plastic bottle has been sitting in a hot car. It's like, how the can you? Apparently, you can. It's not an issue at all. To cook in it. But it makes me feel weird.
Yes, I get it. I agree with you. But let's get something straight. First of all, it is not boiling. But the fact that you're cooking it inside of the bag is kind of weird. But you'll be surprised how many times you've eaten food that is cooked in the bag.
I mean, what is the reason why they can... Okay, here we're going down a rabbit hole. Let's try it. Let's go down the sous vide rabbit hole. Okay. Why is it okay to sous vide your food, and why doesn't it leak... What is it, BCPs? Is that what they're worried about?
BPA, Joe. BPA-free bags. That's what you want to cook your sous vide with.
It feels weird, but as far as flavor, it's a phenomenal way to cook. And particularly wild game, it's really good for.
Yes, exactly. Wild game. I know Joe is a huge hunter, so am I. If you cook wild game sous vide, it's just going to taste better, everybody, because wild game, those animals that are outside, they're literally running for their lives, right? So they got a lot of muscle. Unlike the other ones that are domestic, which eats a lot of grains, that's why we have grain-fed versus grass-fed. And why grain-fed tastes better because it has a lot more fat. Grass-fed is much leaner, so it's a little bit more tougher. However, because it's leaner, it has more flavor. And cooking it sous vide will ensure that it will cook to the perfect doneness, and the bite will just be perfect.
Like if you want to cook an elk steak to 130 degrees and then blowtorch the outside, that's what a lot of people do.
I wonder who uses a blowtorch to sear their steaks, everybody. You let me know in the comments down below.
I guess it's like the Elon Musk flamethrower in the background. I literally could use that.
Yeah.
Because it's basically the same thing. It's just a torch.
By the way, if you've never cooked sous vide before, searing it on the hottest thing possible is the way to go. If you cook it for too long, then you're literally wasting your time cooking sous vide. Let's think about this. A nice thin steak. It does not have a lot of room for the heat to travel, right? It's going to cook quite quickly. But you cook it perfectly sous vide. Then you sear it on the cast iron, but it takes too long. That heat will transfer to the middle of the steak, overcooking the steak. That's why for almost everything, the flamethrower will work great.
To get a nice, caramelized crust, and then the inside, is perfectly
super
cooked.
tender.
Yeah.
You see what he said? That caramelized crust, everybody, please.
What does it say, Jamie?
I don't like this one.
You don't like it? Does it say it's going to kill you?
The first one just says, there's after considerable amount of research that's been done, we believe the answer is it's safe.
We
It's like
believe.
they believe it is.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything.
So they left a little window.
Well,
there.
I feel like if you don't cook in it every day, like when the director of the Cove was in here.
So he said not to cook it every day. Guys, I cook it every single day. Not only for me, for my family members as well. So it's totally fine.
Luis Ahoyas was in here. He was explaining how he was eating a lot of fish before he became a vegan. He was eating a ton of fish, and his mercury levels, it really shot up because a lot of fish has like a lot of mercury. And if you eat fish for morning, noon, and night every day, day after day after day, you can develop high mercury levels.
I hear you. I understand where he's coming from. I am not a scientist. I am just a home cook guy, but I can tell you that I've been cooking for almost 10 years now. Sous vide, we eat it very often, and it's 100% safe. Here's what I will tell you. If you try out sous vide, you will never have a better steak in your life. Let me know what you guys think about this episode, if you guys enjoyed it. Usually these kind of videos are reserved for my Guga channel. If you have not subscribed to the Guga channel, make sure you do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.